At the same time, for the majority of Poles of peasant or worker origin, they have never had it so good. However, with the demands of a growing industrial population and the exodus of young men from the farms to the cities, a major crisis looms ahead in Polish agriculture. When asked about articles in Politica on agricultural policy, Editor Rakowski replied,
"This is our weakness, I must say, because the small farms are too small, and we must do something, but we don't know what we can do."
63% of the farms in Poland are less than 12.5 acres. Collectivization of agriculture along Soviet lines was never seriously attempted in Poland. And today, 90% of all farms are privately owned, and many peasants own farms in which the plots of land are separated from each other by a mile or more. This is a farm in the village of Kuropatnik in the Polish Western Territories. There have been attempts to form cooperatives in the villages, but as Rakowski observes,
we try to build these cooperative villages. Nothing, no result.
the Polish peasant is a strong-willed individual and is highly resistant to change. Government efforts to form large state farms have met with limited success, and the state farms account for only 10% of Polish agriculture. Obviously, there are no large landowners in the pre-war pattern, but the average Polish peasant is better off than the average industrial worker. In fact, due partially to a liberal state loan policy, they do very well.
Here on my house, I put a new roof. On the stable, I also laid new shingles. Also this year, I built a new toilet and rebuilt the barn. This shed is entirely built by me. For the barn itself, I paid 18,000 zloty this year. The roof on the stable cost 5,000, and here 4,000 on the farmhouse. This is a serious sum of money.
Frequently, the only mechanization on a Polish farm is the son's motorcycle. Given the relative affluence of the peasant, it is easy to understand why the Polish worker has an attitude described by Rakowski in this way.
The worker, the answer to why I must help the peasant, why they live better than I. Again, not only an economic problem, but also a political problem.
The Leszczynski family came from the former eastern section of Poland, which is now a part of the Soviet Union. They, along with several million others, were moved into what is called the Polish Western Territories, an area made up of former German provinces. And it is only within the past several years that they have come to believe that their new home is permanent, that it will not be returned to Germany. The Polish peasant can hardly be described as a dedicated communist. At the same time, the peasants are not against the Gomulka government. There is a kind of arrangement to the mutual benefit of both. The peasants own land and flourish, and they give at least tacit support to the government. And the government, in turn, is banking on the possibility that new opportunities, particularly in education, will erode away the traditional conservative patterns of life in the rural areas.
I came at the end of the war from prisoner of war camp in Germany. My wife was already here, and since then, I'm here. And the children, I'd like them to work not as hard as we, their parents, and we will see what will come out of it. If they will study, something will come out of it.
Do you think you will stay here on the farm?
Rather not. I want to study agricultural machinery. I have to study for 3 more years.
And later?
I want to work or study more. I'll see how I'll be doing at the technical school. I'd rather go to the city. I'll see. Maybe I'll find work which is connected with farming.
When do you plan to get married?
When I finish school.
The kings of life. This is a phrase used by many a city dweller to describe the Polish peasant. Under a picture of Gomulka, the first secretary of the United Workers' Party and the strong man of the Polish government, a band from the local sugar beet factory plays at a village dance organized by the ZMW, or Young Peasants Association. The action is heavy-footed and vigorous, and any dance style goes. And on a Sunday morning in the village of Kuropatnik in Catholic Poland, everybody goes to church. The persistence of the traditional modes of life, affected more by the weather than by politics, is nowhere more evident than in the peasant villages of Poland.